getting these checks to kind of like be able to put people on to different venues, like down at the oceanfront.
The city writing checks.
The city is writing checks, man. I think people don't know how to go to. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, what do we got to do in Newport News and Hampton to get them checks?
Bro, Ace have been telling me that for a while. Like, yo, there's money. Like, the city is giving out money. There's piles of money for creatives. I'm like, yo, how do we get this money? Obviously, we have our famous artists from out here, you know, Push, Pharrell, Missy, everybody that the world knows. But I feel like over the years, there's been so many super talented people that just, for some reason or another, haven't broken through that ceiling to become a national act or a world act. Why do you think that is?
I think it really has to do with following. I think it has to do with presence. Of course, we know who these people are. You can be the dopest person in your city, but it's like, you know, there's 1,000 dopest people in their city, but who's actually filming you and like showing how dope you are? Who's getting your internet presence up? Who's pushing you in all these different directions that you can still be here and be yourself, and that way the world can see who you are. Because you don't need to be an artist from Virginia to move to, you know, California. It's like now you're going there into another jungle where you got to strap up and like, you know, put on a different pair of shoes to run with these mugs because they're not running the same speed you are. But if you're here, it's like the only way that you can pop off from your own city, which you should, is by getting recognized. I think the consistency of what people do is just all over the place. So it's like presence to me is like what is missing a lot. Like a lot of people have the right package as an artist, but they don't have all the other steps.
I agree, though. I think a lot of people have this false belief that you have to go to somewhere else and make it happen. Mm-hmm. But realistically, like, you spent all this time building the groundwork and building a foundation in your city. Now, when you go somewhere else, that's all gone. You're starting from scratch again. Yeah. You may have a few connections. I mean, ideally, you have some connections in that place where you're not really starting from zero. Yeah. But more than likely, you are.
And so I always had that mentality. So when it came back to doing something at Utopia, I was like, I'm not going to just do an open mic. I want to do my own showcases. So we started Tapped In, try to make it as diverse as it was. And I think that was the easy and hard part, was just kind of like looking at the talent that was coming in there, but also too now making my way outside of that space. But I feel like having a safe space like that is very necessary. You know, it's needed for artist development. And that's what I kind of wanted to always get into, is artist development, A&R. And it's just like, there's so many talented young people out here. And not just young, there's so many talented people out here who I feel like don't know, like you said, what's going on this side of the water, or on that side of the water. They're not tapped into what's going on. And that's why it's called it Tapped In, is because I want it, no matter how many times you may say it in a day, you might not even be saying it to think about what we're doing, but it's like, it's a real term. Like, yo, you tapped into what's going on. Yo, you ain't tapped into this party that's going on. It's like, be informed about what's going on around you. And that's why it's like, it's not just about, Tapped In's not just about rappers, singers, art. It's like, we've had painters come in there. We have people like Roll Up 757 come in there and showcase what they do.
They have a physical location now.
They have a physical location, you know, and it's like, we got to work with them before they did. Not to say like they weren't going to do that, but it was like, it's dope to be tapped into people before they get the rise, right?
That's how it used to be back in the day.
Yeah, right.
Like you put your friends on with an artist, and like that was the coolest thing, when you can go back later and like they listen to them now. Like, yeah, you know, I put you on with them.
Yeah, right.
Utopia was the first place that I was like reoccurring, like going to, and just like really networking with people, like really seeing the scene and seeing artists at all different stages of their development. You got newcomers, you got people that have been doing it for a while. And then also, like, when you've been creating for a while, you can kind of see in a person that like that they'll be greater. Yeah. Like, they're just starting out, but you see they have like potential, and like you see them over the years getting better and better. Their network growing, their fan base growing. Now they're like, they were doing open mics. Now they're getting booked for stuff. Yeah. So like, I feel like that's really cool to see. Yeah. Your next Tapped In, I think, is this Sunday, right? October 27th at the Bird. Yep. You excited for that?
Yeah, I'm hyped, man. It's been good. You know, like, we've stretched outside of, you know, doing stuff consistently at Utopia to now doing stuff at the Bird.
Yeah, so we can get back to this. Also, I feel like I haven't seen an event at Utopia Fenny in a while. Like, she's been doing stuff outside of the building too.
Yeah, no, she has. Like, she's had a couple little open mics here and there, but she's been so busy on these festival runs in which a lot of us, just kind of been seeing that growth of like, all right, this is the home base, but now it's like we're getting these checks to kind of like be able to put people on to different venues, like down at the oceanfront.
The city writing checks.
The city is writing checks, man. I think people don't know how to go to. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, what do we got to do in Newport News and Hampton to get them checks?
Bro, Ace have been telling me that for a while. Like, yo, there's money. Like the city is giving out money. There's piles of money for creatives. I'm like, yo, how do we get this money? Like, who do I ask for this money? If you don't get it, bro,
they're gonna spend it on a chair that costs $500 for no reason and put it in a building that they're gonna shut down in 2 months. So it's like, get it now while you can, but also too, it's like, look at what we do for the city. Look at what she does. Like, not just to say Raisa, but all of the creatives out there. Look at what they do to give back. We do a lot of free events. We do a lot of stuff for the community, but it's also like, it's coming back, like not only are we like trying to develop artists, we're trying to help them figure out how to get paid for what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about the whole 360 and like seeing the rise. Like, I remember when Nat like was dancing. Like, you had Nat's up here.
She
like,
was telling me about that. She was like, doing hip hop dance.
She used to be a fucking breaker, dog. Like, when I first saw Nat, I was rapping. I'm seeing Nat. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is killing it. She was like with the Zulu crew, like spinning, doing spins.
She was spinning on her head.
She was spinning on her back, doing all this crazy shit. I'm just like, look, man. And then just to see the progression of like, I think it's a growth, man. I think every year that I've been doing this, I've done something that I haven't done last year, whether it's like as an artist, man, because of Off the Faith of Carter, man, we got to perform with Big Sean. Like,
damn,
Carter, Carter, I want to say 2012, like right when Instagram first started popping off, like he had some homies who were running the events coordinating at Roanoke College, and they're like, oh, you rap? Like, would you want to open up for Big Sean? Man, I had bad tags. Nobody else was driving. They said, Vince, you gonna drive? Fuck yeah, I'm getting in the car. I'm getting in the car. We drove, me, Daff, our DJ at the time, DJ Lockdown, Carter and Gabe, and that's just like the thing that we just kind of just thrive off of. If you're up to bat, bro, like as long as you say everybody stay ready, bro, I'm gonna be ready, man. And that's just like how my mentality has been. It's just like as long as I'm gonna be ready, man. As long as I'm ready, I'm never gonna miss that bus. So it's like just from rapping to doing stuff like that, like my band, the success of playing the Norva, for being us, and we were a 5-piece and we sold 175 tickets, having that kind of success. And it's just like now DJing. Now this is a whole nother realm for me. I started DJing when Daff started DJing before him and Drum went on tour, but he kind of like showed me the ropes, him and Gabe, and like I kind of started and stepped away, and now I'm back, and it's just like now I'm making remixes. Now I'm doing this. So it's like every year I feel like I learn something new about myself, and then also grow, but also too, like I understand this is a marathon, and the fact that I get to see other people grow through what I do is just like, it's the best, man. Like I might not be where I want to be, but I'm going there like at my own pace, and it's just dope to see like all of us doing it together, you know what I'm saying? And so if you ask me like what keeps me going, it's the motivation to kind of like just continue to grow and learn something new about myself.